Hi folks, time to start pumping out videos again onto the YouTube channel after a wee break of getting moved into the house. This stage now I'm going to get my lawnmower serviced. This is a Briggs Stratton 300E series lawnmower. I believe the 450E and the 500 or 550E are the same, but the principle of this basic service video will give you a good idea what to do on any lawnmower. You'll see I have a few wee bits and bobs to perform the service for me. This Briggs Stratton official kit, you'll see, has the oil, air filter and the spark plug there. And the part number is there if you need it. I'll have a wee link to that on the description of the video. To make life a bit easier to get the oil out, you'll see I've got an oil removal pump kit there. Basically, see, it's a pump that with a hose that goes into the actual oil filler tube and sucks it out. It's a bit easier than tipping the lawnmower out, so that's what I'm going to use. You should hopefully see the part number down there as well, but again, I'll have that in the description. And looking over the lawnmower, just to give you a quick idea of where we're going. Spark plug is down here, just there. You should generally see the lead going down to it. Air filter is there, and the oil filler cap, which you should know is just there with the dipstick on it. So first step before we really get started is to pull the spark plug lead out. If I can do that. Good fun doing it one-handed. There we go. And if you can maybe see down inside that, you'll see there's a wee metal clip. That's what you're pulling against. That's your resistance. It just clips over the end of the spark plug. So safety first. If we're doing any work in the lawnmower, pull the spark plug lead off and it'll never start and cause you any grief. You should hopefully see the spark plug just there. That's what we pulled that lead off. You should still have your spark plug tool, which came with your lawnmower, so time to use this to remove it. Oh, knock the light over. Okay, it shouldn't be on that tight really anyway. And there we go, you can see the spark plug there. Hasn't been used much, this lawnmower, it's relatively new, but we're going to replace it anyway. You can see this is the new spark plug here. I've checked the gap in this, and this is the gap. It's actually preset and it's ideal for my lawnmower. So in short, this is ready to install, but I did double check the clearances in this. If you need to check your clearances, you're looking at these, it's like a flick knife, and there's a set of different measurements on them. If you can see that, that is a 0.5mm feeler gauge there, and that is the gap that I need. If you need to adjust them, you can basically put the feeler gauge in and tap them onto a hard surface, and that will close up the gap between that metal bar around there and the electrode. Just closes up the gap. So anyway, as I said, this one is good to go. I always, for good measure, on the threads put some dielectric grease. This is what this stuff's specifically designed for. Along with, as well as the threads, I put it onto the lead itself, just in there, stop some of the water and corrosion getting into. So let's get that prepped now. As you can see, I'm not using much. splodge in the end of my finger to the lead. Okay, now that the spark plug's prepped, time to install this, and you should always hand thread the spark plug. And in my case, just to accentuate it, it goes in at a slight angle, pointing down and to the left. Okay, that's it, starting to thread in. And actually this should be relatively easy to thread in. If it isn't, obviously don't force it. And just for speed, I'm going to get my socket. I'm just getting the bar. And really all you're doing here is nipping this up and crushing the washer that's on the end of the spark plug slightly. Okay, and I believe the factory spec is 20 Newton meters, which is not very tight at all. Lead goes on. And you should hear a good positive click off the metal spring bracket there. So that's the spark plug on. On to the oil next, the messy job. Okay, with the oil, remove the dipstick, like so. It's out of the way. And using the pump, you can just see to the side here, the hose in. It's a bit easier if you have the oil warm as well, as a heads up. So I cut my lawn about an hour or so ago. And hopefully there you can see the oil coming up just the corner. Let's go for a close up as this comes round. Yep. So let's start pumping this and get it going a bit more. You can see I'm moving the hose around a bit there to try and get every bit just around into the sump. Now the oil draining process complete. Bear in mind your lawnmower is going to hold up to sort of half a litre, depending on the size of it, but certainly these is up to half a litre. So that'll give you a rough idea of what you're actually going to end up taking out. And bear in mind you'll not get every last drop out. There'll always be some left inside the engine as it's around the head, the valves. There'll be some left in the sump as well. So you'll not get every last drop out, so bear that in mind. But if you're getting around 0.4, 0.5 litres out, that's probably fair enough. And you can see how much is roughly in that. If I hold that approximately level, you can see roughly where I am. And let's just see on the graduation on this. According to the graduation, as I cover myself in oil, that is roughly half a litre that I've got out there. So that's pretty good going. Okay, you'll see in the dipstick tube there, I have the funnel. That's another part within the oil drain kit from Briggs Stratton. You get the wee funnel. So first fill up here, this is a previously opened or previously used oil, or not used oil, but a previously opened bottle of new oil, to correct myself. So I'll start by pouring this in. I'll speed up this process a bit until I get close, but do bear in mind it's much easier to put a little less oil than it is to take it out. So fill it, check it, fill it, check it, fill it, check it, and keep going from there. And in this lawnmower engine, for example, as a note, you have to check the dipstick when it's screwed down and closed. So that'll give you a change in the reading, obviously, because when you screw it down, the dipstick goes down that bit lower. But to get an accurate reading on this lawnmower, you have to screw it in. So do check your manual to be sure you're reading it properly. So I'll crack on here and speed this up. That bottle is pretty much empty, so I'll crack open my other bottle and go from there. And let's do the first check on level here. You'll see, hopefully, it's not quite registering on the dipstick yet. And time to do the second check here. Okay, that's looking good. That is approximately just between the two dots there. If I bring this close, you can hopefully see that. There's a drip has been running down there, which is joined up, makes it look fuller than it is, but in short, it's just between the two dots. So I'll leave that a wee minute to settle before I put any more in or double check it. So I'll just leave that with the cap open for a wee minute and let it settle. And I'll just go for my third check here. Yeah, and if you can see that, hopefully you can see the lines just between those two dots. So I'll add in another bit more and see how that looks. Just as I said, it is a step. Just take your time, take a minute or two just to do this. It's an easy job, but made a bit harder if you overfill it. No point wasting the oil. And a fourth check. That's raised it up a wee bit there. Hopefully you can see. I'm trying to just get it in the light. Just beneath that top point there, with a dot or hole in the dipstick. So I'll add another wee drop in again here just to get it perfect. Okay, and hopefully the final check. That looks perfect there. Just trying to turn that to get it in the light so you can see the line. It's pretty much just at that top hole in the dipstick. So that's the oil done. Naturally, as a note, when you do run the oil or run the lawnmower engine and it gets up to heat, do double check it afterwards once you've been through getting a bit of heat in it as it goes through the engine and stuff again, just to keep your eye on it. And obviously you have some oil left there if you need to do a top up. So the next thing is the air filter, which is a very easy job. So let's go around to the other side of the engine. So air filter time, very easy job this, and a very quick one just to finish off. Lift up the tab, if I can do this, and this rotates down. There's your air filter. Obviously this is just to give your location, that's your priming bulb there. So that can be disposed of. Clean out the filter housing. Give a wee wipe down with some clean blue roll. As you can see, it does look relatively clean. And don't forget to do the lid itself. grab the new air filter, which is here. So that simply slides on, obviously the hole going over the priming bulb, like so. Just needs gently pushed on. You can see it's a good firm holding fit, which, you know, it holds itself in place. So get the lid with the two teeth down, like hinges, clips it on, job done. So that is your service and your lawnmower now complete. It's that easy, simple job that a lot of people don't do. There's obviously a few other things with a lawnmower to check over, things like the pull cord, sharpening your blades, doing your valve clearances and things like that there. But certainly this basic job is something that any DIY capable person should be able to do. It might well save you a few quid. So yeah, let's get the garage door open again and see if this thing starts, or will it blow up. Now that we're happy the lawnmower is running fine and hasn't blown up, etc., let the engine cool and check the oil level again. Keep your eye on it, as you would probably do anyway, and that should be you in business. Cheers!